This is TWiT.
Shot on iPhone, edited on Mac. Folks, that is Apple's It's Glowtime event. Not a whole lot of glowing, I'll say. I didn't see much that glued.
No bioluminescence.
Yeah, no bioluminescence added to the titanium. Apple announced pretty much what we had expected based on conversations leading up to this. The Apple Watch Series 10 was announced with a screen that is slightly bigger than the Apple Watch Ultra. It has a wide angle OLED display, which Rosemary and I were both talking about that being a good thing because oftentimes I know I glance at my watch from the side and it doesn't look as good.
Fuzzy.
Yeah, it's not as good as it is head on. So this improves 40% brighter when it's viewed from an angle. Also, the always on display got a huge jump in refresh rate, where before it was every minute. It is now, or can kind of go between very quick refresh rates to up to every minute. Now it's once a second. So you can at least kind of stay up to date with everything while maintaining that battery life, which is great.
Yes, yeah, it really is. And it's interesting to see. I've just been having a quick look. The Apple Watch bands have not changed. So if you've got an Apple Watch Series 3 or later band, then that should work with the new design of the Apple Watch as well, which is slimmer. And I'm interested to see how big it looks on my wrist, because the Apple Watch Ultra, by the time you had the lugs from the bands on there, was definitely sticking out over the width of my wrist, which meant that getting a strap that fitted was impossible. So I'm hoping that the new ones aren't going to be too large for me, but I guess we're going to have to see.
Wow. For folks who are watching, we're looking at the difference in the width of the case between the new Series 10 and the Series, 7, 8, 9 of yesteryear. It is quite a bit thinner, which is pretty cool. And of course, the new aluminum option that is a polished aluminum kind of gives you that premium feel of the stainless steel without needing to have stainless steel. And just a ridiculous amount of screen real estate in comparison to Apple Watches of before. Especially, all the way back to the Series 3? Or is that? Yeah, where the sides of the screen were square. I forgot about that. Now, you've got a lot more space to spread out. I love that sleep apnea detection is coming to the Apple Watch Series 10 with the, actually it comes to Series 9, Series 10, and the Ultra 2, using kind of breathing disturbances as a metric. And then over time, you can learn more about what sleeping disturbances you might have, and use that as a means of kind of understanding more if it's something that you should have tested. And improvements to some of the sporty features, like a Tides app, which I was pretty excited about, that will help you keep track of where the tide is so that you don't get stuck out there and need to be rescued, which is a legitimate concern.
Yes, it very much is. So it's good to see that, they are bringing that to all the devices. So there's a little less differentiation now between the regular Apple Watch and the Apple Watch Ultra, aside from the design, of course, which is still very different. And that Apple Watch Ultra is going to be coming in black. And that's it. That's the only change. That's the only change, people. It's coming in matte black, and other than that, it's exactly the same as it was before. You could pre-order the Apple Watch Series 10 and the Apple Watch Ultra 2. The new color you can pre-order today. Apple Watch Series 10, $399 is the starting point for the non-GPS, $499 for the GPS. Both of those will be available in stores September 20th. So we'll see that soon. Then, of course, AirPods, that got a whole sweeping upgrade across the system. The AirPods 4 and AirPods 4 with active noise cancellation are the two kind of standard models. They now look a lot like the AirPods Pro, except they do not have ear tips. The standard AirPods 4 come with a new charging case. The AirPods 4 has USB-C charging. The AirPods 4 with ANC has wireless charging and a built-in speaker so that you can use Find My to find them
Those are $129 and $179 respectively, with again pre-orders today, launching on September 20th. Anything you were excited about with the AirPods Max?
They come in purple. They're USB-C. That's basically, I didn't really take anything else away from that. I mean, I love purple, don't get me wrong, but you know what? Blue's fine. I only wear them for podcasting because they are, unfortunately for me, not super comfortable. So yeah, we're gonna have to see whether or not people maybe find some hidden features in them. But that purple, it's nice, but it's definitely a sort of lavendery, lilac-y color rather than purple.
Purple,
There's no
right?
plum. It's not a royal purple. It's just
exactly sort of a
purple-esque.
whisper of purple. Yeah. AirPods Pro 2, which are already on the market, $249. Those are going to feature some new features, yes, coming in the fall, including features surrounding prevention, awareness, and hearing aid stuff. So with hearing protection, they talked about using the built-in sound detection features to help with noise cancellation, and also using the ear tips for passive noise cancellation, of course, kind of combining the two to help protect your ears. Awareness, they talked about a new hearing test that is coming in the fall. Takes about 5 minutes to do. You take the hearing test right at home, and it will give you some information about where your hearing is, what's changed over time, because you can take it again, of course, and then use that to kind of inform what things sound like.
Yes.
And then after you take your hearing test, if you do have hearing loss that is significant enough, then the AirPods can kind of be turned into what they call clinical grade hearing aids. They are kind of a software enabled feature that will tune the audio coming through the AirPods from your environment so that it is purpose built for how your sound profile is. Where you have hearing loss, it will up the frequencies there, drop them where they need to. And they showed an individual with hearing loss listening to their child kind of wish them a happy birthday. It was a rather touching moment, I thought, in the keynote.
Yes, and I think this will be really good for people who, maybe don't have the ability to go and get a hearing test and so on yet, or people that just think, oh yeah, maybe I should test this out and try this and see how it works. And of course, hearing aids are pretty expensive. Leo was mentioning in the chat that, some of them go up to $7,000, and I suspect they could even go more. AirPods Pro, they're not cheap, but they're cheaper than that. So, fingers crossed it'll allow some people to be able to communicate more with others and more efficiently.
And then last but not least, of course, we've got the new iPhones, certainly not least. The iPhone 16 and 16 Plus come in some interesting new colors: ultramarine, teal, and pink. They do feature the latest ceramic shield glass, which is great. So they are more drop resistant and will they call it oops resistant. A big feature across the entire announcement was the new Apple Intelligence stuff, but along with that is this new camera control button that is coming to not just the iPhone 16 and 16 Plus, but also the Pro models. What's interesting is that all of the Apple Watches, all of the iPhones all have this new set of buttons, the action button and the camera control button. So regardless of whether you go standard or you go pro, you're going to get that. And I think that's pretty exciting, Rosemary, because more people will be getting that action button.
Yeah, it really is. And I'm looking forward to seeing what else can be done with the camera control button as well. But the fact that the action button is going to be available for everybody and will be able to be customized by everybody as well. And also, they mentioned shortcuts in the keynote. Woo! That's great. So we're going to have to see how that works for everybody. But I'm hoping it'll be a nice addition for everybody else.
Absolutely. The iPhone 16 Pro and Pro Max continue to have that titanium outer construction with an aluminum and graphite interior for better conductivity to kind of help it cool. We talked a little bit about that. Some fun new features that are coming by way of the built-in intelligence, including an audio mix feature where when you're recording video, you can sort the audio into kind of different tracks. They showed how it's almost like sound profiles. And so depending on how you would be recording it, you could set it for studio where the room feels more dampened so that the audio isn't as echoey. You could set it so that it's cinematic, where the tracks that are supposed to be in frame versus the ones that are out of frame are separated a little bit better. And then also in voice memos, being able to layer a track over another. So a lot of people are able to, or like musicians will go ahead and record ideas that they have in the voice memos app, and Apple is aware of that. And so giving them the ability to kind of noodle on some ideas in the voice memos app quite easily is something. I always look at these phones that feature such powerful technology, and I get a little skeptical about how much of it is actually used day to day. Voice memos is this feature is a place where I go, I totally get that. I see that being used. That's going to actually make a difference for people, which I think is pretty neat.
Yes. Yeah, it is really interesting. I'm glad that they are talking about bringing new features to voice memos and so on. That app often gets overlooked, and I think it is a little bit of an unsung hero. You know, I do personally prefer Just Press Record, but for things like this, in particular, if you're looking to record something that is audio because you want the audio rather than you are dictating and wanting a copy of the audio, then I think that voice memos is fabulous, and it's getting all these new features. Let's see how it goes. And you know, all the Apple Intelligence integration with this, and the fact that Apple Intelligence is going to be available on the iPhone 16 as well as the iPhone 16 Pro is really nice. So we're going to have to wait and see there.
Yes. There are loads of new features, Apple Intelligence stuff that we'll kind of see over time. Loved to see the use of the camera as a tool to give your Apple Intelligence more awareness, so you can take photos of things and have it tell you about it, or have you easily create events. I think that's going to be very handy. I imagine we'll see even more Apple Intelligence played out in a way that is kind of graspable, because outside of the ability to change your writing, to create summaries, that all is easy to grok, I think, as is the ability to create an emoji from just a description. But knowing what it means when Siri and Apple Intelligence has awareness of your calendar and your location and your regular habits, and whether you're in your car or you're at your house, all of that combining together, I think we won't truly see the power until those features are in our hands. The way that Craig Federighi talked about it was it's coming in the months to come. So we don't know exactly when that's going to be, but some of the visual intelligence features are, quote, later this year. So we will still see those in 2024, which is exciting.
Yes, yeah, it is. And, you know, I'm already testing out the Apple Intelligence betas. It seems pretty cool, but I'm definitely appreciative of the fact that they were talking about thermals quite a bit in this. I mean, they primarily talked about it in the gaming section, but my iPhone 15 Pro Max has been getting a little toasty in this iOS 18.1 developer beta. So it's nice to see that they will be working on that as well, which should also, as a bonus, improve battery life.
Indeed.
Hey, it's Leo Laporte. I hope you've enjoyed this little clip from our programming at TWiT.tv. For more, visit our website, TWiT.tv, or subscribe in your favorite podcast client. There's also a link somewhere down there.